Hi, beautiful people. Today is Thursday, March the 3rd. It's been a beautiful day here in Texas, and I am excited, a little bit nervous, but excited to journal with you guys this evening. Thank you for tuning in on my channel. If you've not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button and then the like button on the journals that you've watched. So, I've had a crazy past week for sure. Today I'm going to share with my shirt is this way, spiritual gangster. And I think there's a few of you who know why I'm wearing this shirt. And yes, I own the shirt. I wear the shirt. I've received compliments on the shirt. And I'm grateful that I can be called a spiritual gangster. And we'll just leave it right there. I can't go into too much detail on some things, but okay. I am so excited. I've been nervous about transitioning into the next phase of my video journaling. And I've alluded to and commented on a relationship that I had been involved with it was for 5 years. And it was not godly at all. It was never from God. And you might be thinking, well, GE, you're a believer, you've talked about all the goodness of God and all his faithfulness. And, I even did missions trips in my 20s. And, I was the go-getter because I knew God's redemption. And I have that in another video, right? Of when he initially found me and I got radically saved at the age of 21. So how did I find myself at the age of 33 going on to 34 in a relationship that was abusive, emotionally and mentally destructive, abusive? I didn't even know what gaslighting was until after the scales had been lifted and I could see things, how it happened. And I know that it's time for me just to go ahead and make that transition into sharing those details because it's so important. And if I can just reach one girl, one young lady, one woman, then I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And I know that it's time. And I'm going to be, let me just preface it by saying I'm going to be very cautious and cognizant. I don't ever want to hurt if extended family members of this individual who, by no fault of their own, but if they ever run across this, I just want to be careful of that and considerate of their feelings. However, they know what it's like. So basically, being in a relationship with a narcissistic sociopath, how I went from being a very strong, vigilant, excited, confident, hardworking, positive, but confident, not in a prideful way, but confident in who I was and who I was with my walk with God and my walk in this life, my gifts, my talents, my abilities in art, in interior design, in making an income for myself. All of these things were slowly chiseled away. And when God rescued me, again, we're all God's rescue story, by the way. It doesn't matter if you've been churched your whole life or if you've gone through multiple seasons of crooked paths. We are all God's rescue story. So let me just interject that. So I was a shell of a person, and being constantly on shifting sidewalks, I was so insecure, unsure of myself, suicidal, hopeless, all of those, and there's more. So let me just begin this series, because I don't know how long it's going to take me to actually video journal the whole span that I'm supposed to share. So how did I find myself in that situation? And I'm just going to say straight out, the enemy of your soul, of your spirit, I will address it as the liar. The liar knows your weaknesses. It does not matter if you believe in God or not. The liar comes after everyone, but especially, I say especially, but I've always known that I had a call of God in my life, and I did not know how that was going to play out. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's just sharing on YouTube. I don't know, but I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing in this season of my life right now. So I found myself going all through my 20s and realizing that what I thought, I got on missions trips, I was active in the church, my church was wonderful, but there was a series of events that took place of great disappointment and sadness, and I questioned just a lot of things that I was pressured in by, I hate to say this, gosh dog it. There were choices that I made that if I had just followed my instinct, I would have stayed single. I would have found myself in who God really was creating me to be, and the strength in Him, instead of finding it in the church's pushing towards another individual. Let me just put it like that. So I found myself single, and I've been in a monogamous relationship since the age of 21, and here I find myself at 33. And so I go back to, how did you get up? How did you find yourself in a relationship with a person who I thought I could change, who I thought they just needed love because they've been so wronged, but really narcissistic sociopath who belittled and chiseled away at me little by little. How did that happen? And it happened because I was tired. I was spiritually tired, was emotionally tired, was mentally tired, and I was physically tired. And I was disappointed, and I just didn't know who I was. I thought I knew who I was, and I was like, I know what I want. Let me back up. I was tired in all those areas, but I thought, I know what I want in life now. I'm not going to have anyone tell me, much less the church or churched people, well-meaning people, tell me what I should and shouldn't do, or who I should and shouldn't date, or who I should and shouldn't see. I know what's good for me. I know what I need, and I know what I want. And I want someone who's well-traveled, because I want to travel. And I want someone who's intelligent and challenging and engaging, and who's not weak, who's strong, and all these things I had in my mind, on top of the fact that I so desperately wanted to be a mother. I wanted a family, and I wanted to be a mother. And I knew in my heart I was always supposed to be a mother, and I didn't know how that was going to look. But I compromised. So let's go back. I was tired, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. I trusted in my own wisdom, in my own route of taking charge, and I compromised. There's just no way around that. So the enemy of our soul knows these things. And there are strategic events that take place in your life that set you up. And I bought the bait. So let's just talk about something. If a person that says they love you begins a relationship with flattery, has all the answers to everything that you think that you are craving, if alcohol or drugs are ever used to coerce you in making decisions that you would otherwise have never made, that is abuse. If you are manipulated, berated, ridiculed for who you are in your faith, or just for who you are in general, or who you are not, that is abuse. It's emotional abuse. These are very generic examples, and I'm going to get more detailed later. I just kind of wanted to open up this whole series of this life that I survived for 5 years. So what is gaslighting? What does that even really mean? Let's just say you put your keys on the counter. By the way, everything I'm going to share now and in the future are things that happened to me, said to me and done to me, and I experienced, okay? Let's just say that you put your keys on the kitchen counter, and okay, that's something everybody does. And you go back to get your keys, and your keys aren't there. And you look everywhere for them. You're frantic. You look in every room. You go in the bathroom. You're looking in your purse. You're looking through your pants. You're like, well, maybe I left them in the car. And your keys are missing. And then you ask the individual, your partner, have you seen my keys? I left them on the counter. No, I haven't seen your keys. Are you sure you didn't put them someplace else? Because I know you're so forgetful. And then you begin to think, am I forgetful? Yeah, you're always misplacing things. Really? Am I really always misplacing things? And you start to think these things. And you continue to look. And then you find the keys on the counter, but tucked in another place, and you think, I don't remember putting them there. And it's because you're so busy going and blowing, at least in my situation, working 2 jobs, one self-employed, one for a design company. Maybe I did. Maybe I sat them down, and maybe I tossed them when I tossed them, or set them down, and okay, so I found the keys, but it wasn't where I put the keys. Then there's incidences over and over. What kind of coffee is this? What's the same coffee that you like? No, it's not. It's a different coffee. It tastes different. No, it's the Folgers. It's the coffee. No, there's something wrong with the coffee. Make me another pot of coffee. Okay. This is just scratching the surface. This is nothing. Let me wrap my head around some things before I go forward. The abuse doesn't start right away. The manipulation doesn't start right away. There are signs, and the signs, at least in my case, but the signs of a master manipulator, narcissistic abuser. They're always the victim of something. An ex-wife is horrible. girlfriends were always bad. They were always the victim. And you think, oh my gosh, you're just such a great guy, because he is one way in public, but eventually becomes a different way in private. And the person that his friends, even close friends, they see a different person than what you end up experiencing living with. And you think you love, but it's such a distorted, perverted love. It's not love at all, by the way. So they all have this thing in common. And where you think, oh my gosh, well, I can love you and I'm so excited and I can show you what love is and I'm a good person and you've just been so wronged, right? Let's just say if the person that you're with gets you into situations that are uncomfortable, then mock and ridicule you for wanting to get out of them, that is abuse. If the person, like I just said, portrays himself to be one way and then in private criticizes you after complimenting you, but then belittles you later, the person continues sending confusing messages, conflicting messages that create doubt and confusion in your mind, little by little by little. That is abuse. Yeah, being thrown up against a garage door with my hands behind my back, that's abuse too. And there were other incidences. I can handle that. But the emotional and the mental started adding up. To be told, you're so pretty, but you're my dumb little girl. Because you don't have a college degree, but they do. Oh, in fact, they have a master's in psychology. That should be a clue right there. And that maybe they're too embarrassed to eventually introduce you to other members of their family because you may not measure up. They make you feel like you're arm candy. It's abuse. They make you feel like you're just a commodity that they can buy and sell when it's convenient for them. That is abuse. If they ever belittle you, coerce you into doing things sexual that you aren't comfortable with, that is abuse. Period. I know I'm just barely scratching the surface. I will get into greater detail as I can. I mean, I am going to, don't get me wrong, I am. I just wanted to just give just small amounts. There's so much. I ended up actually writing 5 pages front and back and saving them and giving them to my dad over the years and said, if anything happens to me, you have this as proof of what's really going on. He said to me, wow, you're in trouble. You need to get out. I didn't know how. In fact, if you're ever told, where are you going to go? There's nowhere for you to go, is there? They monitor your phone. They try to monitor your bank account, even if you have a separate one. Stonewalling, ignoring, disappearing for a day, a night, creating fear and panic in you, making you feel like you're the problem, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're inadequate. Again, these are just generalities and terms, but the overall picture is still the same. You are in an emotionally and mentally abusive relationship, and it is not of God. Period. So I'm already 20 minutes in. This is so strong in my heart to share, and I had confirmation that I know now is the time. So listen, as I always say, God is so good, and He is so faithful, and we all have a rescue story. And you know how I'm going to end this, right? He stands behind us, He stands beside us, and He goes before us. And may the Lord bless you and keep you, and may His face shine upon you in graciousness and peace. And don't believe the liar. Don't believe the liar. Don't. I've said this before. When you are written on the palm of God's hand, nothing can separate you from Him. Nothing will snatch you out of His hand. Nothing. No one. He will fight for you. So, sorry. It's just hitting so close to home right now today. Because of a very special young lady. Anyway, you guys, good night. And I will be following up on entry 2 on narcissistic, sociopathic relationship, emotional and mental abuse, what that looks like, the forms that it comes in. Anyway, God bless and good night. I'm going to sign out.